Okay, now as we can see, we've got the starter on the table, and we've got a special guest on the show, Alex from the cellar, and he's going to come and prepare some wine pairings for the meal for the guests. So basically, Alex, you've seen the menu. I just thought it's a good idea to put the dishes together and let you have a taste and see what you think.
That's great. So I can see the starters you got, as you said, a bit of spice, a bit of heat, and when pairing wine and food, the heat, the worst enemy of heat is alcohol. So we need a wine for the starters that is naturally low in alcohol. So what I've done is I've chosen German Riesling, which is just 9% alcohol. Okay? And German wine has had a bit of bad reputation in the past because of mass production of low quality sugary wine. But this is not the case. I mean, now that reputation is gone, and we know that Germany produces some of the best white wines in the world. So in this case, I've chosen a German Riesling, okay? A very fruity wine from a winery called Schloss Schönbrunn. It's the oldest family-owned winery in wine state in Germany, one of the oldest in the world, 650 years, 27 generations of the Schönbrunn family.
This is the starter. For the main course, I've got the Thai curry with a very delicately poached turkey breast, jasmine rice with a little cranberry and red currant. Then I've got the monkfish with alo gobi, which has got some good heat, but quite rounded. It's not really hot. With some the charred monkfish, alo gobi, and a spiced bread sauce. So I'm just wondering what you've got to match with that.
Oh, sounds fantastic. Again, we have to look at the characteristics of the wine that go well with that food. And you don't want a red wine that is very tannic, because what happens is tannins bond with fat. So for a fatty meat, for example, you want wines with a lot of tannin, because they bond, and those tannins, which is that dryness, that astringency, it kind of softens. So you want a wine that is naturally soft in tannins, or a very old wine. You know, time will soften those tannins. So the case here is a wine that is naturally soft in tannins. So it's a Spanish wine from Ribera del Duero, and it's the latest release from Bodegas Protos, which is one of the biggest names in Spanish wine industry. Bodegas Protos did the first vintage in 1927, and then 2 years later, in the Universal Exposition of Barcelona, they got the Grand Gold Medal. It was a fantastic wine, and what they've done here is they've recreated that first wine. So they've used the same procedures, the same time in oak, and they focus very much on the primary aromas of the Tempranillo grape. This is 100% Tempranillo. So you get a lot of fruit here, and enhanced by a bit of spiciness of 16 months in French oak. So it's a wine that is going to go really well with your dishes.
For the dessert, I've got the gâteau. It's not necessarily a gâteau, it's basically elements of the gâteau laid up in a glass, so we get lots of different textures, flavours and different styles and techniques. It's got a little sweetness, it's a little aromatic, so what can we match with that?
Perfect. For the dessert, I've chosen a sweet sherry. So it's a cream sherry, and a cream sherry which is a British invention. So, you know, sherry was very popular in the UK, 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. And they used to sweeten the sherry, the Oloroso, the Amontillado, they used to sweeten it for two reasons. First, because the British palate really liked that sweetness in the sherry, and secondly, because it traveled better with that amount of sugar. So what they used to do is they used to add to the Oloroso or Amontillado sherry, they used to add, is basically reduced grape juice with sugar. Now, nowadays sherry is focused on quality. So if you want a quality cream sherry, you don't have that cooked, that reduced grape juice. What you have is a blend of Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez, which is the sweetest of the sherries. So in this case, we've got Bertola cream sherry, which is from the Bodegas Diez Merito, which is a very small bodega in the center of Jerez, beautiful place, beautiful bodega. And what they do here is they blend 12-year-old Oloroso with 12-year-old Pedro Jimenez. So you get that citrus from the Oloroso, that nuttiness of the Oloroso, but then you have straight away you'll detect the Pedro Jimenez with raisins, dates, and that lovely sweetness that will go really well with your pudding. Looking forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt.